Hi. So in this session, I want to write code for quicksort. Okay, so let's get started. So I will have a function which will be quicksort. Quicksort will take a list, and as we discussed in the last session, we will need start index as well as end index, because we don't want to make copies. In recursion, when we will be calling again, we want to pass these start index and end index. Wherever you will be calling it from, by default, you can call it with, let's say, my list is this. Right, so I can call it with a comma 0 comma length of a minus 1. So that is my start index and end index. Okay, so first of all, the base case. In case your starting index is greater than equal to end index, that basically means either starting index has crossed end index or they are equal. If they have crossed, the length is 0. If they are equal, the length is 1. Both the cases means your list is sorted, you don't have to do anything, so we can return. Right, we can just return. Now I'm going to write a partition function. So this partition function is going to need the list and what area of the list to partition, right? What area of the list to partition. And I would get this function to tell me the pivot index, right? I will make this. So if this was starting index, this was end index, it will partition my list, this part of my list on basis of this element, and it will tell me after doing the partition, after moving things around, where has this element gone to. So I would need the pivot index. Once I have the pivot index, I can call quicksort. See, the good part about quicksort is after you've done the partition, there will not be any movement between these two sides. So you can just, if you sort this part and this part, this area is sorted. Because everything smaller is here, everything larger is here. So if you just sort this and sort this area will become sorted. So we'll call quicksort starting index till pivot index minus 1. That's the first half. These parts need not be equal, right? It's possible that we have only 2 elements here and 5 elements here. That's fine. So quicksort, and this time pivot index plus 1, and we'll go till end index, and that's it. That should sort our list. Okay. Now let's quickly write the partition function as well. So you will pass this. So how do we partition? Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, so how do we partition? So I said, so first of all, if it's of length 0 or 1, again it doesn't make sense to do anything. So just for the sake of completeness, if it's greater, I'm going to return minus 1 because it's not relevant. It's not going to happen this way, right? Start index and end index will be proper because when you're calling partition, you've already checked before that they are proper, right? So let me just get rid of this. I'm not writing this. So my pivot is a of si, the starting element. So if this is the area, starting index and index, I said this will be my pivot element. So that's the pivot element. The second step was find number of elements smaller than pivot, because if you find that, then you would know how much to move pivot by, right? What is the right position of pivot? Okay, perfect. For I in range, I want to go from start index, I want to go till end index. So I'm going to say end index plus 1. Okay, so I want to go from starting index to end index. So that's why I'm saying starting index to end index plus 1. Okay, if a of I is less than, and I'm planning to keep everything less than p on the left side, greater than equal to p on the right side. Okay, so equal elements go to the right side. So if ai is less than pivot, then I need to maintain a count. So let's take a c, which is 0. C is equals to c plus 1. So when you complete this for loop, you should have the number of elements which are less than the pivot. So we need to move pivot to a position accordingly. So where should we move it? Currently it is at si. We need to make space for c elements to it, so it needs to go to si plus c. Okay, that means a of si plus c should become a of si. I hope you understand that I can put 2 things on the left and 2 things on the right and it will work fine. And so I need to swap these two, and I'm swapping them in a single line, right? So si plus c and si. Don't try and replace si with the one at c. That's going to be a problem. Let's say my start index is 30, end index is 50. I find 5 elements which are smaller than my pivot. Then you don't want to swap this number with index 5. you want to swap it with 35. So that's why Si and C should not be swapped. Si and Si plus C should be swapped. So your pivot is swapped here. Okay, so I've swapped the pivot. So my pivot index, let me just store that, is now Si plus C. Right, that's my pivot number. Now what do we need to do? So we have Si, we have Ei, pivot has reached its place. Now we need to take an I which starts from here. We need to take a J which starts from here. We need to move them till they reach at one place. And if this is smaller than the pivot, perfect, right? Move to like increment I and then check again. If J, the element at J is greater than equal to the pivot element, perfect, nothing to do. In case both these conditions are not met, that means you have an element here which is greater than pivot, you have an element here which is less than pivot, swap, right? You swap, and then you keep moving forward. Okay, let's write code for this. I not 0, Si, J is equals to Ei. I need to do some work while I less than J. I should be less than J. If I and J are equal, they are at the same element, that will be the pivot element. So they will move and meet at the pivot element. Okay. So I don't have to do anything in that case. So while I is less than J, what do I need to do? If A of I is less than pivot, this is perfect. I is equals to I plus 1. In case that's not true, then let me just remove these brackets. I don't like them. So in case that's not true, then I need to check. Okay, so that's not true means I have found an element which needs to be moved. Then I'm going to find an element on this side as well which needs to be moved. So else if Aj greater than equal to pivot, that means this is not the right element. I'm going to do J is equals to J plus 1. Sorry, J is equals to J minus 1. In case both the conditions are not met, that means Ai is at a wrong place and Aj is also at a wrong place. Perfect, you can swap. So this else is where you need to swap the elements. Okay, Ai comma Aj is equals to Aj comma Ai, and we have swapped the elements. Both the elements are swapped. Now you can do I is equals to I plus 1, J is equals to J minus 1. I think this should do it for us. Okay, and eventually when you're done with your function, you can return pivot index. You can return the pivot index. Okay, so now before running quicksort, let's quickly run partition on an array and see if things are working correctly or not. So let me just put a 6 here and let's call partition on this. So I'm going to print whatever partition returns and I'm going to see what A contains. Okay, so seems like 6 has gone to the right place. Everything on the left of 6 is smaller than 6, everything on the right of 6 is larger than 6. The left side is still not sorted, the right side is sorted by coincidence. It was not compulsory, we didn't done anything to sort it, by chance it is sorted. Okay, seems like the partition, at least in this example, is working fine. Okay, so now let's take a chance and see if quicksort itself is working fine or not. Length of A minus 1. I will have to run this cell. Let's run this, and we need to print A as well, and seems like this is sorted, got sorted. Perfect, that's what we want to do with quicksort. We can dry run it once quickly, so let's try to dry run it quickly. 87135542. So the first time we will partition on basis of this. We'll see how many elements are smaller. 1 2 3 4 5 are smaller. So the first thing it will do, we'll keep 5 spaces for those smaller elements and swap with the next one. So 6 will come here, 1 will come here. Then we put an I here, we put a J here. This element is perfect. So Ai is less than pivot, so we'll move I. Now Ai is not less than pivot. Aj is not greater than equal to pivot, so it's going to swap. So 2 comes here, 10 goes here, and we move both of these. And now you compare 9 and 4. Sorry, you compare 9 with 6, problem. 4 with 6, problem. So you swap 4 and 9. Why did I say problem? Because 9 is greater than 6 and 4 is less than 6. Both of them are at the wrong place. So you put 4 here and you put 9 here. Then in this particular example, we are seeing a lot of swaps. It's not necessary. So 8 and 5 will get swapped and 7 and 3 will get swapped. And that's exactly what we saw when we called the partition function. That's what you're getting. Now you will call quicksort on this part and quicksort on this part using exactly the same logic. It will keep splitting your list into smaller parts and eventually sort the whole thing. Okay, perfect. So if you are not able to code quicksort before looking at this session, please make sure that you write it now. Do not copy paste code, please write it from scratch and watch the hint again and again as many times as you want, but make sure that you code it, because this will give you a lot of confidence. Like, this is actually being able to write quicksort and merge sort is kind of an indicator that you are understanding recursion in much better ways. Okay, thank you.